Welcome to another edition of Pants Optional. It's Pop Cult HQ Zoom interview segment where we interview comic book creators in the comic book industry and get the lowdown, but from the waist up. So my name is Jason Bennett. I'm the chief editor of Pop Cult HQ, and it's my privilege to have today the lead singer of the band Jack the Radio, as well as creator of the Creatures anthology from A Way Blue World. Everyone, please welcome George Hage. George, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jason.
Hey, thanks for taking the time. How are things? Where are you located?
I'm in North Carolina. So
North Carolina. How are things out there?
all in all, pretty good. I mean, we're having a tough time with the COVID case numbers here, but so are many places in the U.S. and around the world.
But you know what? It doesn't look like it stopped you from keep moving forward and doing things during this downtime. Uh, your Creatures anthology was just released back on the 24th of June. And then not too long, about what, 3 weeks later on July 10th, your band Jack Radio released an album entitled Creatures, available now on Spotify. We'll put the link down here in the bottom.
Perfect.
And of which the anthology is based. So how did you come to such a unique approach like this for the kind of meshing of really two different things, really, the comic books and music?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing music since I was a teenager. Have been into art and comics since I was even younger. And there's so much overlap, and I feel like between music and comics, between album art and concert posters and things like that, that I think stem from comics and illustration. And I've always loved where the two intersect. So it's always kind of been a goal to somehow work in art with the album art, with t-shirts. And this was really the first record that lyrically kind of felt like there was a fit to translate some of the songs and song lyrics specifically into comic strips. And through going to conventions, through buying original art, through tabling at conventions with my own art, have been lucky enough to meet a lot of awesome creators and felt like this was the time to let me see if anyone would be interested, let me reach out, and was a little dumbfounded in the best way possible that people were into the idea, and was able to evolve it into a book by the end.
Yeah. And speaking of the creators that you've ran into, you've put together quite a list of individuals involved with this. You wrote and designed the anthology, but then you landed a slew of incredibly talented comic book creators to add their touch, their signature style on the Jack the Radio character that we get to see in this book. How involved with each creator were you for their contributions? And how did it feel when you first saw how each artist put their unique spin on Jack?
Oh, it's definitely the coolest feeling ever, as you can imagine. I mean, everyone that worked on this book, first off, I'm a fan of their art, have read books that they've worked on or bought commissions or, talked to them at conventions. So just to be able to collaborate and work with everybody was the first of multiple kind of milestones, and just a very unique pleasure to be able to do that. But it was great. I mean, basically, I feel bad for the first couple artists because these were really the first times I found myself writing scripts. So I feel like I hopefully got better by the last script, and we did a short story for each song on the record. So 14 tracks. The first one's instrumental, so there's 13 short stories, and then an introduction for the instrumental. But basically did scripts for each song, and then kind of talked with each creator and sometimes a team. We had an illustrator that did the pencils and inks, and then a colorist that came in. And then on some occasions I did lettering, digital lettering for the stories as well. So trying to pick up where I needed to kind of fill in the gaps. But it was amazing to see everybody's process. And I think one of the coolest parts was getting to see each artist's version of the character. I gave everybody similar references to start off, but I didn't want to get too specific or too detailed. Wanted them to have fun and also just to see what they would do. So that part was really exciting.
Sure, sure. And like you were saying, how the tracks kind of correspond to the different stories, because I had noticed when I was looking at both, well, the table of contents for the PDF you showed me, but as well as the CD single track listing, and I noticed all the chapters of the books are the same, the titles of the tracks
Yeah.
on the album. So what I was wondering is, would you consider the album to kind of complement the reading experience of this anthology? To, listen to track one while you're kind of taking in chapter
That's
one or the first story.
Yeah, that's definitely the hope. I mean, I think they very much stand alone. I think the comic can be enjoyed by itself. I think the record can be enjoyed by itself. But I definitely think the two together, it's going to hit all your senses at once. And hopefully people can find the time. And I think now it's the silver lining of this whole situation is now we're home more than we've ever been potentially. So my hope is you can find that hour. I think it's 48 minutes, roughly 45 minutes, and sit in your favorite chair, couch, or spot in your home, and flip through the book with the record on, and hopefully it's a heightened experience for people. But that was definitely the goal.
Yeah, well, it definitely sounds like you made a real nice, seamless um, connection between the two. Now, what was your inspiration behind that the album as well as the book and Creatures? What was it about Creatures that drew you to envision this big thing you're doing?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the idea of Creatures, it's comes from a lyric in two songs, the title track "Creatures," and then also in a track called "We're All Right." And it's really the idea that we're all creatures of this world, um, and the idea that we're all here together. That there's not necessarily a hierarchy of beings, or we're all here. We're all experiencing the sun and the pandemic and everything together all at once. So that was really the underlying idea of creatures, that anything on this earth can be a creature.
Okay.
And also with that the character Jack has struggles, but also I kind of mentioned this in the book, that went with a skeleton figure is with really the hope that people can see themselves in the character. So it's generalizing to an extent, but also hopefully there's enough detail and enough to grab onto to apply your own personal experiences there.
Right, right. And you also created an animated trailer starring the cosmic country fried Jack the Radio,
Yes.
connecting actually almost a nice go between the album and the anthology. And in the music video, Jack's on that road of self-discovery, and
Yeah.
it provides a nice glimpse into this character's journey. In looking at both how the trailer and anthology jump out at you, it made me wonder what appeals to you the most when it comes to visual storytelling like this.
Yeah. I mean, multiple things really. I think firstly it was just trying to create another layer to the story, another layer to the experience of creatures. Um, and hopefully we accomplish that, giving people something visual to look at, and the audio to kind of digest together. But also, I mean, for me personally, it was, can I even do this? Will anybody join me on this crazy idea of a project?
Right.
And once it started going, I mean, I really didn't know what it was going to be at the start. It was initially, can we, maybe we can get a couple pages from a couple artists, and then we'll throw in behind the scenes stuff and maybe make this little zine that comes with the album. But a lot of it was getting to collaborate, and getting to actually work with these creators, these illustrators, colorists, with the publisher Away Blue World, and with Bricker Down Productions, even on the video, doing the animation work, and Justin Zimmerman there. A lot of it's about actually going through the process, and actually going and seeing people's process and learning from their process. And hopefully this leads to doing more work in this arena as well.
Sure, sure. And looking at this trailer, it made me wonder, for future singles that you release from the Creatures LP, do you plan on more animated videos featuring Jack?
That's a great question. We're in a whole new world right now where it's not as easy to go outside and enlist a video crew and venues. So animated seems to be a great alternative to your traditional music video. And I've seen, I think Sturgill Simpson, and I don't know how much the viewers are into music, but Sturgill Simpson, great country rock artist, did an anime film, full feature length film with multiple studios in Japan.
Yeah.
I've heard rumors he's working on a comic book too, but I'm seeing a lot more animated work. Lucas Nelson's another one, Willie Nelson, just did some Robert Crumb art and animated that for a music video. And Tyler Childers more did recent album cover and some concerts. And we can do. I'd love to do more in that world. And I'm not sure yet if it's easier or harder than doing a traditional music video. That's still yet to be seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you thought about the future for either the Jack the Band character or a second anthology, or kind of showcasing more of this character and this kind of world you're kind of building?
Yeah. I think in a perfect world, would love to do more story. And I don't know yet if that's extending kind of the short stories that we've started, or maybe that's maybe doing another anthology with the next record. I'm not really sure yet. I will say the publisher, Wave Blue World, has been awesome to work with, very supportive, and a great resource as well. So hopefully if we do get to that point, I can definitely reach out and see what their thoughts and any ideas they have as well.
Sure, and they definitely know a thing or two about anthologies as well. So
yes,
there's a good team over there.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to plug? Anything else to be looking forward to? News and announcements that you just want to make sure get out there?
Yeah, nothing too specific at the moment. We're definitely, the record came out 3 weeks ago. The comic came out a little over a month ago. So would definitely ask anyone interested in checking it out to reach out to their local comic shop. If they don't have a local comic shop, we do have the books available at jacktheradio.com at the band website. And we've also got the record online on streaming services as well. So if you find the book, I think it's on Comixology too, if you're all digital, but if you find a copy of the book and you want to hear it, you can stream the album online, or you can pick up a physical copy as well at jacktheradio.com.
That's awesome. It sounds like you just have a lot of great things going. I really like your approach to kind of melding these two worlds in comics and music, and it's really fantastic what you put together. A beautiful looking anthology. So everyone, check out the anthology, and definitely check out Jack the Radio, the band, the character, and all the wild things. We're going to plug in everything in here, add web addresses, social media, everything you can follow, ways to purchase, as well as we're going to drop the trailer in here as well, so you can see that nice animated look, and that great Dia de los Muertes kind of look too that they had when the 4 band members.
Yeah.
It was real
great
sharp.
Koi fan art.
Loved it. So great stuff. Thanks again, George. George Hage, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man. Great talking to you, Jason.
Same here.